another GoCRM tutorial. Today we're going to go over setting up a new lead qualification workflow. With this workflow, we're going to be tackling two challenges that I see a lot. The first one is, how many times do you follow up with your leads? Most sales reps a lot of the times don't have a set process on following up with leads and end up with this enormous lead list that is continually growing, but no one is ever getting disqualified from it. So we're going to be automating a workflow where you're going to reach out a set amount of touch points through email, phone calls, and text messages. And at the end of it, if there's no response, we're going to go ahead and disqualify. Then the second challenge we're going to be tackling is going to be closing the gap, closing the window from the moment a lead fills out a form, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on your website, to the moment your sales team reaches back out. We see it a lot when people are shopping around where they're going from website to website, looking for information from different options, and the vendor that replies the quickest is typically the one that gets the business. So it's key to make sure we reply quick to incoming leads. What this workflow will do is at the moment they submit a form, your team will be automatically emailing them and texting them almost instantly, helping them close the gap and increase conversions dramatically. So let's get started. The first step we're going to take is go to our settings menu and then select templates on the left-hand side. Here we're going to set up all our messages and emails that we're going to be sending out throughout this workflow. Okay. Now, I recommend you write these templates with context in mind. So if the lead is coming from your website or is coming from Facebook, make a note of that and mention it on the template so the person can have better context when they do receive your message. Hey, our team just received your form submission from our website. How may I be of service, right? And now you can utilize these variables that you see in the bottom to personalize it even farther. So you can say, hey, first name, this is, John from Quality Homes. How may I be of service, right? So you can utilize these variables in the bottom from all the information you captured, right? Whether it was their first name, whether it was a specific field of something that they were interested in, you can utilize it on the message so it sounds like even more natural. Now, once we're done setting up our templates, we're going to take the next step and set up our segment. Our segment is the group of people we're going to be targeting and who will be entering this workflow. So I'm going to go ahead and create a simple segment by selecting all marketing contacts. Then in the bottom, I'm going to add a filter. The first filter I want to add is contact status, and I'm going to go ahead and set it to lead. The second filter I'm going to add is the source. So I'm going to select all the individuals that are leads and that originated from a form submission. Once I have those two filters selected, I'm going to click on save and create my segment. So now you have your list. Now keep in mind, this is just an example segment. As I mentioned, you can customize it as much as you like. Next, we're going to go ahead and select our automations tab. Let's click new automation. So for the title, we're going to enter new lead qualification flow. Next, we're going to select the segment we just created. So you can go ahead and search by the title. Now this option says only include contacts added to this segment after this automation begins. You're going to want to select yes. So what this is going to do is only the new contacts that are added to that list that you created are going to be getting these responses and not the older ones. So just keep that in mind. You have the option to put yes or no, but keep that in context. Okay. So now let's go ahead and select workflow. So here in the workflow, this is basically our blank canvas where we're going to go ahead and start creating our automation. The first step that I'm going to grab is going to be the assign owner action. So let's go ahead and drag it into the canvas and then let's go ahead and connect it. Okay, so here you have a couple of options. In this case, I'm going to assign the owner randomly. So the moment a lead comes in, the owner is going to be assigned randomly, and I'm going to make sure that I notify the assignee of the new lead. So just make sure that's turned on. Next, we're going to select the action called wait for. This just allows for a gap of time to happen. And usually we use it just so the response seems a little bit more natural, right? Because if you submit a form and you get a response within a second, then you know it's going to be automated, right? But if you add a little bit of like 3 to 5 minutes, then it's going to feel a little bit more natural to the recipient that you actually took the time to send that response out. The next step is going to be the send email action. Okay, on the right hand side, you can select the template from the ones you've created. You just want to connect it. Now, in terms of assign owner, in these, you don't have to do anything since by default, the system's going to select whoever the owner of the lead is. So since we've already assigned it randomly, that person that got the lead, his personal email address will be sending out an email to your lead. Next, we're going to send out a text message. But before we do that, we're going to set up some filters. That way the text message only goes out during your business hours. So for that, we're going to select the filter called only on days. Here, we're going to select the days we are working. So in this example, I'm going to do Monday through Friday. Next, I'm going to select the in time range filter. So what this will do, it's going to check what time of day it is before moving forward to the next step. So I'm going to put after 7 a.m. before 12 p.m. Remember, you can customize this based on your own business hours. And you're going to want to connect it through the green pathway. So what it's saying there essentially is, hey, you know, if right now is Monday through Friday and it's within this time range, then it's okay to send the next step, which is the text message, right? So I'm going to go ahead, just like previously, just go ahead and select the template that you created, and it's going to be sent out by the owner, and that's it. So at this point, the lead submitted a form, they received an email, and if it's during business hours, they also received a text message. Now we're going to wait 1 more hour just to see if we get any response from the lead, and then go ahead and create a task to call the lead. So, you know, you select the action called add task. We're going to fill it in, just add task name, you know, call lead, enter a description. For due date, you're going to want to put maybe 1 day from the execution, meaning, you know, it's due, you know, a day after the lead came in. And this will just help reassure that we touch the lead in every single touch point, right? You know, we sent them an email, we sent them a text message, and now we're calling them. And, you know, hopefully also leaving a voicemail, okay? Now we're just going to repeat the process a couple of times for the next, practically the next 14 days, right? So for the next 2 weeks. So we're going to wait another 2 days, send out another email. In this case, you know, the email, make sure the context in mind of, hey, you know, I gave you a call. Hey, you know, I texted you. We haven't heard back from you. I know you were interested. You know, let me know how I can be of help. After that email, let's go ahead and wait another two days maybe. And as I mentioned, this is just a blueprint, right? I mean, you can customize this as you need. But we're going to go ahead and wait two more days. And in this scenario, send out another text message. Now, I would recommend a time range. You play around with it a little bit. The first text message went out in the morning. Hey, this time we're going to text them in the afternoon. Maybe that works a little bit better for this lead. So same thing. In this case, I'm doing 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now let me select the action for the text message. I'm going to select my new lead follow-up template. We're going to wait maybe another 2 more days. Send out another email. I remember all these things, you know, are going to be happening automatically in the background. At this point, you're at your 3rd email. You've already sent out 2 text messages and you've already made 1 call. So we're just going to go ahead and do 1 final phone call. Set it for the due date of maybe, you know, in a day or 2. For the title, I'm going to just put in call lead second attempt. Based on your own protocol, you know, you may want to have 2-3 phone call attempts, 2-3 text message, email. Be mindful of the medium, right? You know, if you're doing emails, you can do a lot more. If you're doing text messaging, you know, do not abuse the medium, right? Clearly at that point, you know, the lead's not interested, or, you know, they don't want to talk. So we created our task. We're going to wait. At this point, you know, wait 3 more days and see if we hear back from them, right? If we have not heard back from them, the cool thing is we can add a step called status, and at that point, unqualify the lead. Whether you want to unqualify it, or some people like to call them dormant leads or unresponsive leads, you're going to want to change that status and move it out of your lead list. Now, just because the lead is unresponsive doesn't mean you have to discard it completely, but you do need to move it to a separate list. Now, in this new list, perhaps you can set up some other re-engagement workflows where perhaps you follow up maybe every 6 months to a year, just to see if they show any new interest on your product or service, or just completely get rid of it. Now, through the process is how is the system going to know to stop sending text messages, to stop sending emails? So we're going to go back to the top and we're going to create a second branch. And this second branch from the new leads from form submissions, it's actually going to be looking at events. So we're going to add the incoming email, the incoming call, and the incoming text message event. So what those events do is they're basically listeners. They're going to be listening to see if any phone calls, any emails, or any text messages from these leads come in. If they do at any given point, if they do reply, if they text you back, if they email you back, or they call you back, we're going to want to add an additional step, which maybe will qualify the lead, or, you can call this status however you wish. I've seen it a qualified lead, active lead, responsive lead. And finally, we're going to pause the automation. So this is going to happen instantly, right? They're going to call back. They could be in the third step and they call back or they text you back. These events are going to trigger at any given moment, update the lead status, and pause the automation. Next, you're going to click on Start on the header, and then we're going to click on Start Automation. And there you have it. The moment a new lead comes in, they're going to receive an email, they're going to receive a text message, and the entire workflow is going to execute automatically. We hope this guide has been helpful, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our support team. Thank you.